Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
And welcome back. When you turn on your television, you don't see too much accurately portrayed about the Bible. You see many other types of shows, magic shows, cop shows, crime shows, but very little based on the Bible. And that also extends to video games. And with more on this, we have Mike Madden. He is the Director of Development for Kingdom Games right here in Austin, Texas. Thank you for joining us, Mike.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so what spurred you on the route to make a biblically based video game?
You highlighted a lot of it in your opening, saying that it's not prevalent there, and the founders recognized that in looking at where kids are spending their time, and rather than fighting to remove them from that activity, let's take those great historical stories that are just founded in moral and ethics in many ways, and put it in front of them in a medium that they enjoy spending time on. I think you can ask any child about their favorite game and they'll tell you top to bottom from characters and world lore. So they obviously retained from that process. So we felt it was a place that we could contribute in a different way and present a different offering and a different option for parents.
Yeah, that's a great point to make, because oftentimes when you talk about teaching kids about the Bible, it's a cartoon movie or a coloring book, and all those things are well and good, but as the kids mature, they kind of spur off that. So if you tap into the video game market, it's just another way to get to them. So as far as the gameplay, I don't want to give away too many of your trade secrets, but what kind of experience can somebody expect from playing one of your video games?
It is an action RPG, similar to a lot of other games that are out there, like Torchlight and some other very successful titles. But we are based on the biblical era and that time period. So it's there is fighting. I mean, the Bible has a lot of violent moments. Mm-hmm. We tried to make it a very good video game, regardless of your belief system, so that way we can capture, and it's passive in its learning, in how you can experience it and take it just as a video game story. And then there's also elements and nuggets of information that if you want to look further into where this came from or a piece of scripture, you can dive into that as well. So it's an action RPG game, lots of combat and lots of characters. You control 5 heroes of David as he is uniting the region under the flag of Israel.
Absolutely. Now, video games can be a very educational experience in a positive way, because I will attest, back when I was younger, I used to play Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I thought it was just all fiction. I mean, of course, it is a fictional story.
It is.
But the first time I heard about DARPA, the type of weaponry that they were developing, I didn't realize a lot of that stuff was true until I came to work here. And I was like, that's in the video game I played like 10 years ago, and the stuff is true. So, yeah, it can be very educational for the people who want to take that route with the material.
Absolutely. And there's lots more stories to tell, and we're going to continue to do that. And we're trying to change and add things, as I mentioned, on the ethical and moral side of things, where rather than every game being about hoarding treasure and how much you accumulate, we've got a donation system where the more you give, you actually benefit the whole of the people and your community. So we're really trying to make a good, fun game and be engaging, but also, if we can, teach them some good values along the way, and hopefully change some perceptions of what video games can be.
With Kingdom Games, when did you guys get started?
I guess that was 2013 in August. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
2013.
So about 2 years now, almost 2.5 years.
Okay, so you have your titles coming out. Further on down the road, do you want to focus on this title, or do you already have some things in mind of what you want to do in the future?
Well, 5 Guardians of David, which is our first release, came out in November, available on Steam, is a saga in that it is a long generational story that we will tell. So we are looking and actively developing on that. But again, we are always looking at what other stories and cultivating and what other projects we can take on. But right now, 5 and continuing on that path right now is our focus.
Yes, now, as we started off saying in our introduction, there's not a lot of stuff going on in the mainstream media. Correct. And a lot of times that when you do have a movie such as the movie came out with Russell Crowe, we played Noah, a lot of people criticize that.
Of course.
So how accurately are you trying to stay to the biblical principles that are in the Bible, the biblical stories that are in the Bible?
As much as we can be. But again, it's that balance of needs to be a fun, engaging thing, where it's not an action moment, We actually have the same artist that did the comic, the Action Bible, which is a very graphic novel. Okay. Well, we worked with Sergio, and all of our cut scenes are in a comic book fashion. So we've talked to people that are in seminary and whatnot who have commented on how in detail we go for this period of the story. And we cover David and Goliath up through Bathsheba and the Uriah tragedy. So it really focuses and is about a 20-hour game experience in that time period. And we try to be as accurate as we can, but still lean on fun. And we don't want to burden the player too much with unfun activities, if you will.
Yes, and the story of King David is filled with action. You know, the saying that Saul killed thousands, David killed tens of thousands.
That's right.
So I'm sure there's plenty of action to be had. And it's a really interesting story because a lot of people don't know that King David is David from David and Goliath. So as you pointed out there, you start him, as a young shepherd boy up to the height of his kingdom, I guess.
That's correct. And you actually take on the role alongside and parallel to this storyline where you do get to play David in the David and Goliath fight, but you're playing 5 of his mighty men that are called out in the Bible, Abishai and Benaiah and Joshua-Beam and Shammah and Eleazar. And so each has kind of a separate fighting style, and you can switch to them at any time while you play. And so we can have a little looseness in their conversations and dialogue by staying true to the David story because we're not playing David. And so it kind of goes alongside. And it's great. It worked out really, really well. Yeah.
Good parallel story. Okay, so you said it's on Steam. So if somebody was watching this and they want to get it right now, what do they need to do?
You can go to Steam. Is a PC delivery platform. Really good, secure way to buy digital content. Go there, search for 5 Guardians of David. You can go to our website, kingdomgames.com or 5guardiansofdavid.com, and there's links and everything all around. So yeah, we'd love you to take a look at it.
All right, Mike, let's talk a little bit about your history. What brought you into the world of video games? Because I'm sure there are many people, gamers and fans watching this right now, and they're thinking, well, how can I get to the point where I'm the director of development? So just with about 3 minutes we have, tell people a little bit about Mike Madden.
I had a little bit of a troubled youth, I would say. Didn't really pay attention to school at the time that I was in it.
I'll agree.
It happens to a lot of us. Unfortunately, took a different path, and about 1920, kind of had to hit the reset button on life. Games have always been a part of my childhood and playing them, but found an ad that said game players wanted. It happened to be Sega in 1991, and as a QA tester. And I've been doing this for about 25 years now. In the first week of that job, I realized this is a career, and I've completely dedicated myself to it. I'm self-taught. And that's one thing about this industry. I can teach anybody to make a game. I can't teach you to have the passion.
Yes.
And that's what it takes. And if you care enough, we can overcome everything else. And so I'm very passionate about what I do. It's not a job for me. I wake up every day excited.
Well, that's good, because that's a lot of things that, kids miss. And, they go to college and whatever. And like you said, you can teach somebody the fundamentals, the skills, but if you don't have the passion, you can't teach somebody the ambition to be self-taught as you are, because a lot of the guys in the crew here, they're self-taught to various extents. Some of them went to school, some of them didn't. Some of them went to like Rob Dew, our news director. He went to school for something that was nothing to do with this. He went to school for acting, but he had the
entertainment
passion.
Industry in general.
Yeah, he had the passion to go forward and go about this. So that's very encouraging to hear that. You guys pretty much started self-taught. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's harder to do, and even better yet, schools are now starting to have accredited graduate, level classes for it, and universities are even starting to give e-sport scholarships, equivalent to a normal football scholarship, for kids to come in and play video games at a professional level and learn what the mechanics are behind that and the science behind it, on how things are played and whatnot. So it's really come a long way, and it's becoming more mainstream and easy to find, where back in the day it was getting into the business was like finding an arcade in an alleyway. You just kind of stumbled in, All
right, Mike, that sounds very exciting. Kingdom Games is the website. They want to check it out. Also check out the games on Steam, and we definitely look forward to seeing the rest of the series.
Thank you very much for having us, giving us the opportunity to talk about it.
All right. Stay tuned right after this for more special reports.
Shane Steiner's involvement with InfoWarsLife.com truly happened in an organic way. I went to high school with Shane. His brother knew his parents well, and he was visiting the office once, hadn't been to the office in years, and said, "Wow, I notice you're making and selling supplements. Do these really work? Because I've tried a lot of supplements as a workout enthusiast, and I really think most of them are hype." And I said, "Here, take some home, try it." Well, a few weeks later, he came in blown away and said, "I want to buy 3 boxes of this stuff to give my friends and family. It's simply amazing." He said, "Why does it work so well?" And I said, "Listen, go to InfoWarsLife.com, watch the informational videos with Dr. Group and others. They understand how it all works. I know that it works for me. That's all I understand. The science, the facts, the research, people's testimonials, they're all on InfoWarsLife.com. You can check it out for yourself."
I wanted to go to the gym. I wanted to push myself and work out harder, and that led to me being able to come out and do stuff like the barefooting and the surfing and stuff like that, which I've never done. I never would have done that 2 years ago.
Shane has said over and over again, more than just libido and energy, it made him want to get into the gym more. It made him want to get in better shape. And believe me, the Steiners have amazing genetics. His brother is a world champion steer wrestler. His dad, Bobby Steiner, is a famous world champion bull rider. They've got natural genetics. But when you added this to the mix, in Shane's own words, it took him to the next level. Shane noticed the mental clarity. Bobby was able to work out longer and gain muscle mass. He's already completely shredded. I gotta admit, for me, the biggest effect has been libido. Now, I've never claimed to have a body like some beach model, but back when I was 20, 22 years old and worked out every day, I looked great. But over the years, and being married, having 3 kids, and working 18 hours a day, I gained basically 100 pounds. And it's been a long process losing that weight in the last 4 years. But if you look at the photos and the videos of what I looked like 4 or 5 years ago versus today, the results are dramatic. I'd already cleaned up my diet, I was working out hard, but I'd only lost about 20 pounds. It was adding the other key ingredients from InfoWarsLife.com that helped me personally go to the next level and shed another 35 pounds.
This has actually made me feel so good that here lately, about a year ago, I started training jiu-jitsu, and that kind of led to doing some boxing and kickboxing. I mean, it's amazing that 2 years ago, I was on the couch and couldn't even tie my shoes, and now I'm training with MMA fighters and just doing stuff that I never thought that I would be doing ever again. So Super Male Vitality has allowed me to do some amazing things, and if it has those kind of effects for me, I know that it will do great things for you. So just try Super Male Vitality. I promise you, you'll love it.
And finally, let's look at Anthony Gucciardi, Infowars.com reporter. He also works with Dr. Group and others, helping develop the newest, most cutting-edge, high-quality supplements. Let's take a look at what happened when he tried to barefoot ski for the first time with the Steiners. And remember, we're not making fun of him. He had the will to get in the arena, and he's lost more than 10 pounds in the last few years of fat and gained more than 10 pounds of muscle. And Anthony chalks it up to Super Male Vitality as well. Bottom line, folks, you want to discover the power of Super Male Vitality and Super Female Vitality for yourself by visiting InfoWarsLife.com today or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.